Hello, and what is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and today we are back in Forza Horizon 3, and we are going to be talking about 10 things that maybe weren't the best about Forza Horizon 3. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm bashing the game. That doesn't mean I don't like the game. There will be a video coming out soon talking about the things that I love about it, but these aren't really just from me. These are from the community, which I actually reached out to the Forza community in a independent Forza Facebook group, non-related to my channel or really anybody else's YouTube channel, and just asked, what do you guys think could have been done, better? What are some of the things in the game that you guys are not huge fans of? And a lot of people replied. A lot of people in the Forza Racing Network replied. And also, by the way, I know this is completely separate from what we're talking about in the video, but for any of my Georgia viewers, I will be at Helen Import Day in Helen, Georgia next month with the S2000. If you want to come by and say hi, check out the car. I'll be there with David Patterson, that dude in blue. So again, if you guys are around the Georgia area or maybe Atlanta area, greater Atlanta area, stop by Helen Import Day and check it out on, you guys can look it up on Facebook and things like that. And by the way, I'm not being like paid to say any of that. I'm genuinely excited about the event. It's my first Helen Import Day I've ever been to. And if you want to come up and check it out and say hi, totally cool. So anyway, now to get into the topic at hand. So the first thing, and this comment was by let's see, Tin Yao Lee, I believe is how I pronounce his name. Just again, if I butcher anybody's names, forgive me. But you know what? And also, in the interest of protecting people's privacy, we're gonna do first names only. So he said he doesn't like the physics. He says they're really awful. I'm not too sure about that. I like the physics, but to each their own. Kai says needs more mountain roads, and I agree with that 100%. Like that has always been one of my biggest things about the Horizon series, and something that I think has been missing, frankly, since Horizon 1. They've needed more mountain roads since Horizon 1, and Hot Wheels is really, really fun, but it doesn't make up for the... There's a lot of twists and turns on Hot Wheels tracks, sure, but it doesn't make up for the twisty, turning, elevation change involving roads that you get in like a mountain range. Like, for example, the Rockies in Horizon 1. Now, let's see. Henry said, no feature to turn off traffic in private online lobbies. I mean, you could say yes. I mean, and I get if you want to turn off traffic, you know, there's going to be people that say, why don't you just make a race then? But, I mean, I guess if you wanted to roam around and just roam around like an empty world, that's definitely something that I could see being a... That's something that I could definitely see being a helpful feature. Another one is, let's see, Daniel and Kyle both said Anna. And Anna is interesting. I mean, like, I would really, really like to be able to completely disable Anna all the way and never listen to her again. She is not any kind of, she is not any kind of relation at all to what I find to be enjoyable in a game. Basically, she sounds like a school teacher telling you what to do, and it's slightly annoying and slightly bothersome in the game. But I mean, it really is just kind of one of those things that like you end up finding in a game, and you're you think about it and you're like, huh, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. So another thing is from, let's see, Joe, and he says using the horn, and that's specifically because the drivatars mistake it for getting into a convoy, so if you just blow it randomly, then you'll convoy up like immediately. I get that, but at the same time, it's kind of just like be careful about where you use your horn. But again, I understand how that could be a frustration sometimes. Definitely not a huge deal, I think, but something that I think could be maybe just tweaked a little bit, but not really a big deal. Steven says drivatars and traffic. I mean, it's a really like generalistic comment, so there's not really a lot we can boil it down to, but to talk about Drivatars for a moment, it has been confirmed by lots of people, like me, friends of mine, and like other people just online that have done tests to see if Drivatars will aim for you, and it's true. They will, and they do. So that is something that I feel like could be messed with a little bit, just to get them to stop aiming at you. I think Drivatars aiming at you is a big thing that's like why? You know, I mean, is it to make it more engaging or to make you have to work harder to avoid them? Maybe, but I'm not completely sure, and I'm not completely sure that having them aim for you is a good idea, and I think that should definitely be changed a little bit, and they should be more structured to avoid you instead of aiming for you. And I missed the track completely on that one. I was just like, see, that's the thing. In the gameplay in this video, I was just kind of going around the in-game world in the M3, just frankly, having a really good time, just kind of freestyle drifting everywhere, and just kind of, frankly, enjoying myself. Now, another one is, let's see. How slowly the vinyls move when you're making a design. That's something that I've heard from the designers a good bit. I mean, it's not something that I've dealt with a lot because I don't do a lot of designing. I mean, frankly, I'm not very good at it, and it takes a hell of a lot of practice to get good at, and it's just not something that I see myself, it's not something that I see myself doing. I mean, I'm much more interested in playing the game than designing liveries, but at the same time, you know, people that design liveries are really, really important because, say, for example, we wouldn't have this M3 GTR, like, Most Wanted livery if it wasn't for somebody spending hours and hours and hours in the vinyl editor. So, that is definitely something, like I said, the speed at which the vinyls move, that's something that I've heard a good bit before, and I didn't want to do this from just the standpoint of what of stuff that just came from me. I wanted to actually, like I said, that's why I went out to an independent Forza Facebook group and asked, because I wanted to get just as many different looks at this kind of thing from the community as I can. Also, some of these things I've drawn from my YouTube comments because, like, there's a lot of you guys in my YouTube comments that have told me that you don't like that you don't like certain things about Horizon 3. Like, for example, oh god, we had a whole comment thread a long time ago about Anna, and like people that were like, oh my god, I just want to turn her off. And I completely get that. I completely understand why you would want to turn her off, and it's like that should be there as a feature, just to be able to turn it all the way completely off. But anyways, moving on from that, there's a couple little things from me personally, some of which relate to the Hot Wheels DLC, and some of which relate to the game in general. Mainly, first thing relating to the Hot Wheels pack, and don't get me wrong, I love the Hot Wheels pack. It's probably the most creative DLC they've ever made, in my opinion, and I'm absolutely in love with it. I'm still playing it to this day, like, even in my off time, I'm still playing it. But anyway, moving past that, the placement of the boosters is a little bit wonky sometimes. There could have been a little bit more thought, I think, that went into the placement of the boosters, because there are some boosters that will straight up launch you right into a wall. And I get that there are some boosters that, like, when you really learn the map, you start braking before you get to some of these boosters. And I'm sorry, but a booster should not be in a braking zone. And I get that you have to structure it so you can go both ways. And that's really, I think, the #1 reason why some of them launch you into walls is because, you know, going a certain direction, that boost would launch you into a loop or a hyperloop or something, whereas going the other direction, it would launch you straight into the wall of a corner. And there's not that much that they can do to remedy that. There really isn't. I mean, maybe void out the effects completely of a booster going a certain way, or maybe make it so that they only act as a booster going one direction. I mean, that's basically the same thing, but that's something that I think could be looked at if they ever do more Hot Wheels stuff, which I honestly really hope they do. I mean, I think there's like an awesome idea here and an awesome, like, potential for more. I mean, they could if they made a Hot Wheels map that was 3 times this size, oh my god. They would literally be able to release a new game that was, well, hell, 5 times this size, and they could call it Forza Hot Wheels. It would be, actually, it would be really badass. It would be a really cool concept and a really cool idea. But regardless, that's neither here nor there, and we're moving on to something else. Another thing for me is I just want to second the comment that was made a while back in the beginning of the video when I was reading off people's comments that talked specifically about more mountain roads. And that's the thing, is I've always, every time I've gone to meet up with the Turn 10 guys in person and stuff like that, I've always been like, guys, I love the game, but we need some mountain roads. We need some, and yeah, by the way, I don't know how the hell this happened right here. It just, like, I didn't see them until I was in the air. So, anyway, I run this in slow motion a couple times just because I really wanted to see it. And I was just like, huh, he was right there, wasn't he? But anyway, I gotta keep hammering on the mountain road stuff. The mountain road stuff is so important that, like, we need it back. We need it back, and we need it again. We need it, we need it, we need it, and it would absolutely make the game to have it. So, that has been a list. I don't know if that was probably more than 10 things, but I may have gotten a little carried away. But again, hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, don't forget to leave me a like. Tell me in the comment section down below if you guys have anything you want to add to this, and subscribe for more if you're new. See y'all next time.